Down from last week despite a continued drop in rates. But what does the market look like here in Idaho? So here to talk with us today about that is Tom Kirchmeyer and Bryce Gonser. Thank you both for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so okay, talk about what you're seeing when it comes to these interest rates.
Yeah, so really what we can expect as we move into 2024 is that the Federal Reserve has come out and said we're done hiking interest rates, right? So that should mean as we move into 2024, the cost of capital, cost of rates is coming down, and that's flooding the mortgage bond market. So people are buying bonds, they know they can sell them at a later time for a premium, and that's really what's causing mortgage rates to come down. And as we see that narrative play out in 2024, we get the first rate cut and cost of capital starts to come down. More money will come into bonds, rates will continue to decrease, and that's really what we should expect as we move into next year.
Which is good news for people trying to buy a house, right? Kind of talk about that and what that means for potential home buyers.
Yeah, I mean, purchase power goes up. You know, you're going to get a little bit more of an affordable payment. You're going to start to see lots of news and momentum about refinances and things like that. So it's always smart to talk to somebody who really wants to be strategic about your situation, kind of explain the pros and cons about, you know, saving 30, 40 bucks versus the long-term goal of, you know, waiting and being strategic about refinancing at the proper time when rates have really come down and it really makes sense for your situation.
And you just mentioned refinancing. For folks who might be watching right now, maybe they're not familiar with it. I mean, what does that mean for maybe home buyers and how would they go about refinancing?
Yeah, I mean, talk to your local professional. Just make sure you're talking to somebody who's really looking at your whole situation.
Yeah.
Are you planning on staying in the house for 3, 4, 5 years? Are you trying to upgrade? What's your situation? And have somebody that's willing to really sit down and look at the numbers, not just do a refinance because they can save you 30 bucks. Although nowadays that could change somebody's budget, but really look into the deep part of their situation and making sure they get the right rate at the right time.
I mean, I know you guys have been doing this for a while now, and I'm sure you talk to a lot of people who have been waiting, especially Idahoans, right? They've been waiting for this so that they can buy a home, because we've heard so many stories about people being priced out.
Yeah.
I mean, what advice do you have for them, maybe?
Really looking at like the bigger picture of, why are you wanting a house, right? And getting, past the fact that, rates might not be where they were a couple of years ago, right? But let's look at the cost of renting. Is that going to continue to go up? More than likely, yes. And so if you can talk to a loan officer or trusted advisor and figure out a way to get in at a payment that's comfortable and looking at, that whole experience, that's probably, worth having that conversation, getting the ball started.
All right. Well, thank you both for being here. We always appreciate it for you joining us here on the News at 4.
Thank
We'll
you.
be right back.